The veil of secrecy has been lifted. We now have the basic general framework of the GOP tax proposal. Which stocks will benefit the most from this much lowered corporate rate tax cut? We bring in a guy who owns important stocks here. Maybe you own them too. GoodHaven managing partner and co-portfolio manager Larry Pitkowsky. Larry, which stocks in your portfolio, because you only have a couple of dozen here, which ones do you expect will see immediate benefit if we do have just a 20% corporate tax rate?
You know, Liz, at the GoodHaven Fund, we are primarily stock pickers, bottoms-up investors. We do have a whole bunch of companies that will benefit, all things else being equal, if corporate tax rates come down. Verizon, Berkshire Hathaway, Federated, Systemax, these are all companies paying in aggregate, you know, individually 30% more in corporate tax if we go to a 20% rate. That would be an immediate benefit. We also have companies that have significant CapEx, and if they change that to a much shorter depreciation schedule.
Can we see the list of Larry's stocks? Because you ran through them, and people might want to know because they either want to buy them or they own them already. But when you get a sense of exactly how this will go down, do you believe we'll get a 20% corporate tax rate?
Well, I think this is the way we think about it, and it's the way we're opportunistic investors. The interesting thing here is that we didn't buy these companies yesterday or the day before that. We've owned these companies for a while, and they are working very well for us. And the most important thing is our investment thesis did not assume we would ever get any help from a lower corporate tax rate. This is all icing on the cake for us and for our fellow investors.
Interesting.
And I think that's really the point. I don't think there may be some people out there that can guess legislation or be great political predictors of these things, but we think most people should just assume the macro environment they're looking at doesn't really change, and the investment thesis should not assume you get any help there, and it should be icing on the cake.
The macro picture right now, we're at a record for transports, a record for the Russell. We are bumping up on the S&P. Yep, we're at a record right now. This continues. I mean, we're in the 46th or 47th record of, since the election. President Trump's on a roll when you look at the stock market.
Right, and I think the opportunity from here is, why don't you look at the areas that have not done as well, or the areas that are not getting that much attention. There are some parts of the market, despite the market selling at very high levels, that have been kind of left behind. And for opportunistic value investors that like to buy bargains, that's where we think people should be looking. That's where we have been looking.